Sure. Like I mentioned earlier, DuckTales, hands down. Even the sequel, though a lot of people give the sequel grief because they don't think it's as good. I think it's as good. It's a great continuation. So DuckTales for sure, Final Fantasy, and of course, the original Super Mario Brothers. Those you really can't beat either of those titles for what they do. And if somebody was going to pick on me for picking two platformers in there, then I might say something like Ice Hockey or Mike Tyson's Punch Out for a third one to have a different genre.
And I was reading how you were showing like your nephew some of the older game, and they got really into it. It must be
Yeah.
great to see like younger gamers get into classic games like that.
I had showed them a rough cut of the film, and the second that it was over, I didn't even get a chance to say, "So, what'd you guys think?" It was like, "Can we play your NES? Like, where is it? Can we play it? Where are your games?" And so I was like, "Well, come on with me." And I had an NES set up in the other room on a tube TV. I'm like, "Well, here are the games, guys." And they're like, "Oh, what should we play?" I'm like, "Well, if you've never played an NES game, you got to play Super Mario Brothers first." So I put it on, and just watching them work it out, like none of them went to their phones to try to figure it out, and just watching them discover secret things, like they found the warp zone on their own in World 1-2. They learned how to smash blocks and find different hidden coin blocks, and just how to deal with enemies. They started and they ran right into the first Goomba. They didn't know how to jump, they didn't know how to do any of that. So just watching them work it out was like a time trip, man. It like really brought me back. They liked Mario. It was okay. They found it a little challenging at first, but then when I showed them Ice Hockey, being the fact that they both played hockey, they were all in it. And being from Canada, these guys are from the U.S. while the ice hockey tournament started, and of course I was Team Canada, they were Team U.S. and it was fun. It was a lot of fun to see them get beyond something that wasn't graphically on par with their PlayStation 4 or Xbox One or PlayStation 3, and they got it. The input device was simple enough. They knew what the graphics represented, and they were hooked on it. And it was just pure fun.
Was there like an accessory that you're a big fan of? I mean, a lot of people talk about like the Power Glove, but I think I never knew anyone that actually had one. Did you have like a favorite accessory for NES?
Well, Power Glove was definitely one of my favorites, and I fought rigorously with it to get it to work. And of course, it didn't always do the job. And it was always more of a novelty to try to get it to work than actually complete the game. It's like, okay, yeah, I put the right codes in, and I'm actually making something on the screen move. That was always kind of the curve with the Power Glove. That was great. I have a lot of third-party kind of NES Advantage knockoffs that I like. One that I religiously played Final Fantasy with. That was just so much easier. Just sit on the floor and tap around like the actual ball joystick with my hand instead of using a D-pad to press nonstop, especially through all those turn-based battles. I like the NES Max a lot. A lot of people don't like the Max. I love that it's like one of the first boomerang design controllers, which are almost the staple nowadays. It was just so comfy. I really liked the D-pad, the way that it swirled around. It just felt ergonomically pleasing to me. There was like flight simulator type joysticks where you kind of pull back and push forward that I would use for like something like Stealth ATF or Captain Skyhawk. That really added to the experience, I thought. So there was a lot of that stuff that I bought into. And the reason we got so much kind of garbage accessories is because that's how popular Nintendo was. Everybody thought they could make a buck on that trend. So that's what we got. That's what happens when something is popular. You're going to get a lot of stuff out there.